The thing I would like to clarify is the statement which was taken out of the context about the proceeds of the oil. What I meant was not reported as I said it. We said the oil advances or commitment were spread up to 2027. But it doesn't mean that the oil of South Sudan was sold out all.
South Sudan does not belong to individuals. They said that is owned by all, and everybody should benefit from the resources that are available.
Thank you.
The resources that are available.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we cannot support for a few people to benefit from the resources that are available.
Yes, sir.
For a few people to benefit from the resources that are available.
Nice one. Nice one.
And you know that the oil is shared with those consortium which dig our oil out. When this comes, then it is shared among these companies and the government. The government share that time was very limited. So it doesn't go as much as two cargo. And that is the reason why mostly there were people who went to get some repayment loans from other institutions, finances, in order to keep the government running. That was the time when the peace agreement was agreed. It was concluded. And you know the peace agreement was only being implemented by the government. There was no any other country which had helped the government of Southern Sudan to implement peace. The Troika you are talking about, the other international institutions, the countries were just talking. You implement peace, things will go well. You do this, things will go well. The only country which was helping might be Japan, and China might have brought some tents and some uniform for the cantonment. And the rest of the other countries were just talking. So it was the government implementing the peace agreement alone. That means what? Maintaining the 5 vice presidents, maintaining all these generals in the hotels, and then trying to buy cars for the vice presidents and all these things. It needs a lot of money. And the money were borrowed. And when this money were borrowed, people whom the money was borrowed from need them to be paid back. So some of your proceeds of the oil were going for payments of these loans. And that is why the arrears of the salary build up. Because there are priorities over priorities. And when priorities were over priorities, these were not of arrears were accumulated. When I came in, I got the July arrears was not paid. August was not paid. September was not paid. October was not paid. And I came in November, okay? And I paid July, paid August, paid September, paid October. And the last 2 months which I paid were November and December, when I just went to Washington, D.C. And now we are left with January, February, and February. The reason why we are not paying the arrears is that the oil is going for the loans we have been taken before. So when you don't have a cargo to sell, or when it is given for the loan which was taken before I could come in, there is no way I can stop this thing and say, okay, give me this money, and that person will take us to the court. So the oil money is going for payment of loans and paying some of the priorities of the government. It is not that the government is sitting on the money and is not paying the arrears. Now we are working very hard. Like now, I'm talking to you. I told my people to prepare 3 months pay sheets of January, February, and March. Where am I going to get the money? If the oil has been sold in advance up to 2027, that means that I will go to 2028 to ask somebody to give me money, such that by 2028 you will be given that oil. And the time when I'm gone, somebody will come in my place, he will find that all the oil of 2028 has been sold. So he will have to go for 2029. And then you sit and ask, where is the money going? Now, if I want to pay this salary, I had to get this in advance, somebody to give me money to come and pay this salary, which is the arrears. And if I don't do that, you people will go on the street. Why is the salary not paid? And if I want to pay, I will have to borrow. And when I borrow, that means that your oil is being sold in advance. So this is where your money of oil is going, my friend. There is nobody eating it. It is being sold in advance, and we pay people in advance of the money of, 2 years from now, we are paying the salary of last year. What happened last year? You better go and ask those gentlemen. Because I don't know what kept them not paying the arrears. For me, I'm trying to eliminate all the arrears. But I have to borrow money to pay the arrears. And next time, after 6 months, you will ask, where is this oil of the money? Now I'm going to borrow it to pay the arrears and priorities of the government. Because the revenue is not enough to cover all this. That is why the money of the oil, sometimes you don't see it, but you hear it that it is being given. So these are the reasons which make this money of the oil you don't see.
The other thing I would like to clarify is the statement which was taken out of the context about the proceeds of the oil. What I meant was not reported as I said it. We said the oil advances or commitment were spread up to 2027. But it doesn't mean that the oil of South Sudan was sold out all. We still have our oil in the ground. We still have all our resources in the ground. And the government is embarking on initiative of oil enhancement to increase the production of the oil. And this is going on now, the process is going on to increase the production of the oil because we still have enough oil under the ground in Southern Sudan. It doesn't mean all our oil has been sold away. No, the oil is still there. What we did was to spread the sheet of the advances which we made to that 27. And in the middle year, there are some corridors of cargoes which remain for the government to run the government, and that's why the government is still moving. The government is very strong, and after the unification of the forces, the government is still functioning well, and we are working with the Ministry of Petroleum to increase the to increase the oil production, whereby if we reach to the level of 350 or 300 barrels per day, 300,000 per day, that means that the talk of loans and the debts and the arrears will be eliminated as soon as our production increase. Otherwise, the development is still going on. There are roads being constructed. This is from the same oil proceeds. So I want to assure our people, it doesn't mean that the oil is sold away all, but it was the spreadsheet which we said have gone up to 2027, but the government is now embarking on a solution to increase the production of the oil because the oil is still down under the ground. And this oil, when it is sold, when it is produced, it will eliminate all these problems within a short time. So I just wanted to assure the public that the oil is still there, and we are doing our best with the Ministry of Petroleum to increase the production, because you remember I said the floods and the COVID-19 were the cause of all these things. But now the floods are going, although we know some is coming back, but the COVID-19 is going down. So the production of the oil will solve the whole thing, and then we will diversify our economy to have agricultural products, build our roads, and improve the livelihood of the Southern Sudanese people.
The Minister of Finance and the Governor of the Bank of South Sudan also during their meeting briefed President Salva Kiir on their recent mission to Washington, D.C., where they held meetings with IMF, and World Bank and mentioned that the IMF is waiting for the audit report to release more money for the country.
If there is anybody reporting that I said the IMF and World Bank will not give us loan, I think that is out of context, and I have not said anything of that kind. What I said was that they are waiting for the report of the auditor, and that report, as soon as it reached Washington, D.C., they will release the extended credit facility, which is going to be more money to Southern Sudan than what we have before. And actually, they praised our reforms. They said, you are doing well. It was the first time for the IMF and the World Bank to praise us that you are doing the reforms well. You continue on that path. And they just want us to continue with the reforms. They want us to just send the report, and as soon as they get the report, they will extend it. That extended credit facility will be given to us.
The governor of the Bank of South Sudan, Moses Makur, reiterated that in any reformer agendas, there are always challenges of resistance from those who don't want such reforms. But he said that he will stand his ground to make sure that these reforms are made for the benefit of the people of South Sudan.
Let me clarify what I said. In any reform process, there is no unanimous support for any reform. There is resistance always for any reform. Because those who were enjoying the status quo, that were enjoying the first state of affairs, would not like the change to happen. This is a normal thing. It happens in any reform. Some people who are benefiting from the first system will say that this is bad to change. Let us remain as it is, because they are benefiting from that. So it is a natural phenomenon, and it is normal for people to express discontent with the new set of situation. They need the old system to continue such that they benefit indefinitely. But the reality is that we should do what will benefit the economy as a whole, not individuals, because South Sudan does not belong to individuals. It is a state that is owned by all, and everybody should benefit from the resources that are available. Yeah. So we cannot support to accept for a few people to benefit from the resources that are available. That is the context we were talking. Yeah.